Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got a fascinating set of sources today, all pointing towards a pretty big shift in content strategy, away from just, random blog posts towards something called topic clusters. And our mission here is really specific. We want to figure out the absolute best, most resource-friendly way for smaller companies, the ones without huge content teams, to actually compete, not just survive, but win in search and maybe even these new AI answer engines.
Absolutely. And it really boils down to this idea, smart architecture wins against just sheer volume. You don't need the biggest budget, you need the best blueprint. So this topic cluster model, it's basically a way to organize your website content. You have a main, really comprehensive page that's the pillar or the hub.
Okay, the central piece.
Exactly. And then it's connected, strategically linked to lots of smaller articles that dive deep to specific subtopics. Those are the spokes. Dense internal linking holds it all together.
Right, so it's not just like a couple of links here and there. It's a deliberate structure, a knowledge map almost.
Precisely. And the payoff is pretty dramatic. The data we looked at shows this structured approach can bring in something like 43% more organic traffic compared to just scattering content randomly.
Wow.
Yeah, and companies using this, they're ranking for thousands of keywords. I mean, the range is huge, from maybe 1,000 up to nearly 30,000 keywords, all from just one focused topic area.
Okay, 43% more traffic and ranking for that many keywords. That definitely gets your attention. So let's unpack this. Why is the old way, just targeting individual keywords, playing the volume game, why is that not working anymore?
Well, it's because search engines, especially Google, have gotten much smarter. They're trying to understand the whole context of your expertise, not just whether you used a keyword. Scattered content actually creates three major problems that really hurt smaller sites. First, there's keyword cannibalization. You end up with multiple pages accidentally competing against each other for the same search terms. It confuses the algorithm.
Right, you're fighting yourself.
Exactly. Second, your authority gets diluted. Your expertise is spread thin across all these disconnected posts, so none of them really build on each other. It's like having scattered knowledge islands instead of a continent.
Diluted authority. Okay.
And third, it leads to really poor internal linking. You fail to show the search engine how all your content connects, how you've actually covered a topic comprehensively, and the result is stark. Some research suggests that around 90% of web pages get almost zero organic traffic. They're basically orphaned pages, disconnected from the site's main knowledge base.
90%. That's
Well,
staggering. So the new game isn't just ranking for one term, it's building this comprehensive topic authority. How do these clusters actually achieve that when volume fails?
Because the cluster model directly mirrors what modern search algorithms like Google's helpful content system are designed to reward. They want to see comprehensive, interconnected coverage of a topic. Google even has its own framework for this, EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. When you build a cluster, say 15, 20 articles all tightly linked, you're sending a massive signal of deep expertise. You're showing both breadth and depth.
Okay, signaling expertise through structure.
And here's the crucial part for, the smaller players listening. This is how you compete. If you build really strong topical authority in your specific niche, you can actually outrank much larger competitors, even those with way higher overall website authority, like domain rating.
Really? So you can bypass the whole who has the bigger domain score game?
To a large extent, yes. You don't need to be the biggest fish in the whole ocean. You just need to be the undeniable authority in your specific pond. That's the path.
I like that. Out-organize. Don't just try to outspend. Let's get practical. Let's talk architecture. If someone's mapping this out, what are the actual specs? How long should these pillar and cluster pages be?
Right. The technical details matter because they define the function. The the hub needs to be substantial. It's the central authority on the broad topic. We're talking, generally 2,000 to 5,000 words. The sweet spot seems to be around 3,000 words.
3,000 words.
Yeah.
That's a hefty piece.
It is, but its job is to give that broad overview. It touches on maybe 10 to 15 major subtopics, but it doesn't go super deep into any single one. Think of it as the map of the territory.
Got it. The index, almost.
Kind of, yeah. Then you have the cluster pages, the spokes. These are where you really drill down. They tackle one specific subtopic in depth. Usually these are shorter, maybe 1,000 to 2,500 words. And these cluster pages are targeting those longer, more specific search queries, the long-tail keywords that the pillar page only mentions briefly.
Okay, but back to the pillar page, 3,000 words feels like a big ask, especially for a small team trying to be capital efficient. Is that really the best use of initial resources?
That's a fair question. It is an investment, but think of it as synthesizing the core knowledge. You need that length to signal comprehensiveness to the algorithms. But the sources we looked at point out there are different types of pillar pages, depending on your goal.
Okay, so it's not one size fits all.
Exactly. There's the 10x content pillar. This is designed to be the definitive resource on the topic, the one everyone else links to. It's great for attracting external backlinks, building that domain authority.
Right, the link magnet.
Then there's the resource pillar. This one is more about curating useful links, both internal and external. It acts like a really helpful directory or toolkit page. These often drive the most immediate traffic because they're so practical.
Okay, high utility.
And finally, the subtopic pillar. This one is more focused on a specific problem and its solution. It's often structured around answering key questions and tends to convert better for leads or sales, especially for commercial topics.
Interesting. So you choose the pillar type based on whether you need backlinks, immediate traffic, or conversions most.
Yeah.
That makes the 3,000 words feel more like a strategic choice than just a requirement.
Precisely. It aligns the effort with the business goal.
Now, linking. We know clusters link back to the pillar, but you mentioned dense internal linking. The sources seem to suggest it's more complex than just a simple hub and spoke setup.
Oh, much more sophisticated. Yes, the baseline is every cluster page links back up to the main pillar page. Crucially, using descriptive anchor text, the actual words you link to reinforce what that pillar is about.
Okay, standard practice.
But the real power comes from the next step. Cluster pages should also link sideways to related sibling pages within the same cluster. When it makes sense contextually, of course.
So linking spokes to other spokes, creating more of a web within the topic.
Exactly. Not just a star pattern, but a mesh. This dense internal network does two really important things for building authority.
Which are?
First, it helps distribute authority or link equity throughout the entire cluster. If one page gets a lot of links or traffic, that value flows through the internal links to support the other related pages. It's like teamwork for your content.
Okay, sharing the strengths.
Second, and this is vital, it provides really strong semantic context for search engines. It tells the algorithm, look, these 15 articles aren't just loosely related. They form one cohesive, deep exploration of this single topic. It proves your expertise through structure.
That makes sense. So you're basically handing the algorithm a map of your knowledge.
You got it. And technically, the best setups use things like hierarchical URL structures. Domain.com, topic, subtopic, plus tables of contents within pages, and schema markup behind the scenes. All things that make the structure explicit and machine readable.
Okay, this is starting to sound like a serious competitive advantage. Let's talk results. You mentioned the potential, but what's the actual proof? Give us some compelling numbers from the case studies.
Right, the proof is definitely there. Let's start with HubSpot, kind of the pioneers of this. They reorganized, get this, over 12,000 blog posts into topic clusters.
12,000.
Yeah, and within a year, they saw a 50% jump in organic traffic and improved rankings for hundreds of their main keywords. Their advice: aim for about 20 to 30 cluster articles per pillar page, and be generous with internal links, like one link for every 150 words.
Okay, 50% lift is massive. But I'm really keen on the efficiency angle for smaller teams. What about that WorkVivo case study, the B2B SaaS company?
Ah, yes. WorkVivo is a fantastic example of getting more from less. They implemented clusters and saw an 11x increase in sales qualified leads in just 6 months.
11 times the leads.
In 6 months. Plus, 138% lift in overall organic traffic. And here's the ticker for resource-strapped teams. They calculated it saved them $19,000 per month in pay-per-click advertising costs.
Wow, $19,000 a month saved. That single metric probably justifies the entire strategy for a lot of businesses listening. That's huge ROI.
It absolutely is. The structure essentially replaced paid spend with sustainable organic authority.
Okay, and there's another one, an unnamed B2B HR company, the one with the massive growth.
Oh, yeah, that one's almost hard to believe. They saw a 5,600% increase in organic traffic over a few years. They went from around 6,000 monthly sessions to over 340,000.
5,600%.
It shows the power of compounding. Once they established authority with clusters, their traffic just kept doubling year after year as they expanded.
Incredible. And it works for startups too. You mentioned viral loops.
Right. Viral Loops proves you don't need a massive back catalog. They built just one core topic cluster. That single cluster now ranks for over 1,100 different organic keywords and brings in clicks consistently, with zero ongoing promotion or link building outreach. The architecture itself did the work.
Zero promotion needed after setup. That really speaks to the power of the structure. Okay, I'm sold on the why. Let's get into the how. For someone listening who wants to implement this, what's the playbook? Where do you even start with choosing topics?
Good question. The framework should always start with your customer, not your product catalog. So, step one, map out the 5 to 10 core problems or challenges that your ideal customer faces. What keeps them up at night?
Problems first.
Okay. Step two, validate those problem areas as potential pillar topics. You need to check two things. Is there enough search interest? Aim for a minimum of, say, 400 monthly searches for the core topic idea. And second, can this topic actually support a cluster? Does it have enough depth for 8 to 20 distinct subtopic articles? A quick way to check this is to look at the People Also Ask box in Google search results for the main topic. If you see lots of different meaty questions, those are potential cluster spokes.
Using People Also Ask as a quick validation.
Yeah, it's a good proxy for subtopic depth. Then, step three, prioritize your validated topics. Look at search volume, sure, but also business value. How closely does solving this problem relate to your actual product or service? And competitive feasibility, can you realistically become an authority here?
Makes sense. Prioritize based on demand, relevance, and winnability.
Exactly. And once you've picked your first topic, here comes the really crucial, slightly counterintuitive part about the creation process. Write the cluster pages first before you write the big pillar page.
Wait, really? Write the spokes before the hub? That feels backward. Most people would build the big central piece first, wouldn't they? Why start small?
It seems counterintuitive, I know, but it's actually smarter for a few key reasons, especially if resources are tight. First off, it completely prevents keyword cannibalization from the start. You know exactly what distinct subtopic each cluster page covers before you try to synthesize them in the pillar.
Okay, avoid stepping on your own toes.
Right. Second, and this is huge for smaller teams needing quick wins, those deep dive, long tail cluster articles tend to rank much faster than broad pillar pages. So you start getting organic traffic and seeing results sooner, which builds momentum while you work on the bigger pillar piece.
Faster initial traction. That's motivating.
Definitely. And finally, when you do write the pillar page, it becomes a much stronger asset. Why? Because you're essentially summarizing and linking to existing high-quality content that might already be starting to rank and gain some authority. You're not just writing a 3,000-word behemoth from scratch and hoping it ranks someday.
Okay, that reframes the whole process. It makes it feel more manageable, like building blocks. Start with the bricks, clusters, then build the archway pillar.
That's a great analogy. Staged, manageable, and builds on early wins.
So what are the big mistakes people make? What are the pitfalls that could completely derail this whole strategy?
Yeah. There are a few common traps. First, getting sloppy with keywords within the cluster pages. Don't scuff keywords. Focus each page tightly on its specific subtopic to avoid reintroducing cannibalization. Second pitfall, creating rigid link silos. Some people get nervous about linking between different topic clusters, but topics often overlap naturally. Refusing to link related content across clusters just isolates your authority. You want connections where relevant.
Okay, don't be afraid to cross-link between related topic areas.
Right. Third, neglecting content updates. Topical authority isn't static. You need to keep your cluster content fresh and accurate. Plan for regular reviews and updates, maybe quarterly for key pieces. Freshness matters.
Good point. Set it and forget it doesn't work here.
And the final, maybe most overlooked mistake, failing to establish author authority. Remember, EEAT, expertise and authority are crucial. Your amazing content cluster won't reach its potential if the author is anonymous or lacks clear credentials related to the topic. You need detailed author bios, links to social profiles, proof of expertise.
Author EAT. Can't just be great content. Needs a credible source. Got it. Okay, this structure sounds incredibly powerful for traditional SEO, but let's look ahead. What does all this concentrated authority mean for the next wave? For things like AI overviews in Google, for answer engine optimization, or AEO?
That's where this strategy becomes even more compelling, I think. AEO is really the next frontier. It's shifting from just trying to rank a page #1 to trying to be the source that AI systems cite when they generate an answer.
Right, getting featured directly in the AI response.
Exactly. Whether it's Google's AI overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever comes next, these systems need to trust their sources deeply. And what signals trust? Comprehensive, well-structured, interconnected knowledge, which is precisely what a well-built topic cluster provides.
So the cluster structure is almost perfectly pre-adapted for how AI wants to consume information.
Pretty much. It gives the AI the depth, The breadth and the clear relationships between concepts that it needs to feel confident citing you as an authority. We're moving from optimizing for clicks to optimizing for citations, from ranking results to ranking facts.
That's a profound shift. Are there specific ways to format content within clusters for better AEO?
Yes, definitely. Think about making information easy for an AI to extract and synthesize. Place clear, direct answers to likely questions right at the beginning of relevant sections, maybe the first 40 to 60 words. Use clear question-style headings, H2s, H3s, that match user queries. Structure complex information using bullet points, numbered lists, or tables because AI models can parse those easily. Your goal is to make your content answer-ready.
Answer-ready content. And the metric changes too.
Yeah, you start tracking not just traffic, but your share of answers. How often is your domain being cited as a source in AI-generated responses for your key topics?
Fascinating. Okay, let's wrap this up. To summarize the core takeaway for everyone listening, it sounds like topic clusters are potentially the most capital-efficient strategy out there for organic growth right now. It proves you really can out-organize bigger competitors even if you can't outspend them.
That's the essence of it. For those starting out, the advice is clear, focus. Pick 1 to 3 core topic clusters that directly address your main customer pain points. Don't try to boil the ocean, be patient, but persistent. You should start seeing some initial ranking improvements within maybe 3 to 6 months. But the really significant compounding traffic growth often takes 6 to 12 months to kick in as your authority solidifies. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but the gains are sustainable.
Good timeline expectation. Steady, compounding growth built on structure.
Right. And maybe the final thought to leave people with is the dual benefit here. This isn't about optimizing just for today's Google or just for tomorrow's AI. By building these comprehensive, interconnected knowledge graphs now, you're creating a foundational asset. It works brilliantly for traditional search today, and it positions you perfectly to be a trusted source for the AI answer engines of tomorrow. You're building for compounding growth that lasts for years. That's the real strategic advantage.